What's up, online shoppers? Humid, damp basements don't have to be what you live with. And this MIDEA 3,000 square foot energy certified dehumidifier, if I had to pick one word to describe it, it's easy. So let's open it up and take a look. I've done my research. This is supposed to be easy to use, easy to operate, easy to empty. Let's see if that's how it is. This comes out of the box fully assembled, and when I say fully assembled, I mean even the wheels are already attached. And look at how smooth this rolls. Now mind you, it's empty, but I'm not having any difficulty moving this around. 2 fingers, that's all it takes to move it. It moves nice and easy. There's our instruction manual. Here's your cord for the dehumidifier. Not super long, but it's definitely not super short either. I love that it has this lay flat plug. Instead of it sticking out this way, you can actually have a lower profile, and that's going to go in closer to the wall. So you could essentially plug this in right behind and have virtually no clearance between the wall and the plug. Although I will say, this is where your air filter is at the back, and you are going to want to put this in a place where there's good airflow. So you don't want to jam this up against the back of the wall. You want to be able to have good airflow in and out. So the air is going to be drawn in through this side here, and it is going to be expelled through the outside, and the output is over on this side. So let's talk about all the really great things about this dehumidifier. This MIDEA dehumidifier is Wi-Fi enabled. It is easy to operate, easy to empty, and easy to move. It has the capacity to do a 3,000 square foot space, which is absolutely the ideal specifications for my basement, and I'm very excited to get this moving in my basement and start dumping out some of the moisture that's in there. One of the things that's nice is there are these little hand slots here so that you can pick up your humidifier. And if you want to know how much this one weighs, it weighs about 34 pounds. So 34 pounds, you can pick it up and move it around. But honestly, you probably just are going to have to wheel it, and it does wheel nice and easy. So something else that's cool about this humidifier is you have 2 different ways that you can use it to remove the moisture from your environment. First of all, you can rely on the manual empty bucket here at the front. Like it says here on the box, this dehumidifier can remove up to 35 pints of liquid a day from the atmosphere. When you have a large space, that is a big ask. So this is definitely something that is suited to that kind of a job. Now, to manually empty this dehumidifier, all you have to do is put your hand in the 2 little hand pulls here and just slide it out. It comes like that. Now, when it ships, inside it comes with a back buckle so that you can actually wrap your cord around the back. So we're going to insert that in just a second. That's the only installation that you have with this. It's just inserting this back buckle, which is what they call it. I call it a cord keeper. Same deal. Here is the bucket right here. You have a couple things going on here. First of all, this here is your float. So when the bucket fills up, this is going to raise. And when this lifts up like this at the top, that's when it's going to signal this machine to auto shut off. Well, auto shut off means I don't have to worry that I'm missing the dehumidifier filling up and then I have water all over my floor. It also has a really nice handle here so that you can actually carry this bucket full of water easily when it's time to empty your bucket. Inside here is where all the water is stored. If you take a look at the front of the bucket here, you can actually see that there is an indicator here, this little red line. It's actually a red piece of pipe that floats inside here. And as the water raises, it rises up. And when it gets up to the top here, that's the same thing that happens when this little float here raises to the top. And when that happens, it's time to dump your bucket. Once you have dumped the bucket, put that right back in. Buckle goes right back here for your cord or your cord keeper, and it just needs a little click and it is in, so you can wrap your cord around that if you want to. In shipping, they sent this neat little hook and loop here. You can also use that afterwards if you want to attach the hose securely to your dehumidifier. I just want to give you a zoomed in look at the front of the machine as well. There is your bucket, there is your handle for carrying. You can see the receptacle in here for the water. Here is your float that's going to raise. Nice little simple clip. It's back in place, and we're going to spin it around here so I can show you the back. Here is the removable filter for the machine. It's an air filter, and it's a screen, and it is easy clean. All you have to do when the dust and the lint builds up in here, because this is the air intake, you just have to take this off, rinse it in your sink, give it a good scrub with a little bit of soap and water, dry it off, and insert it right back on here. You can also, when the machine is off, take a vacuum cleaner and vacuum off anything that's built up on that surface of the air intake. Go in from underneath, because there's some little clips, and just give it a little pop, and it is in there. If you would like this to run continuously instead of with the auto shut off when the bucket fills up, you have this option. Right here is the cap, and when you remove this, you're going to have access to the valve that you can hook up a conventional garden hose to. So if you have a piece of old garden hose lying around, all you have to do is actually thread it right on here, and then take the other end of the garden hose and put it where you want it to drain. So this is your gravity drain or gravity fed drain. The water, as it fills up through here in the dehumidifier, will come out through here via gravity. So it's going to come out through the intake in here and come out. So you never have to worry about emptying the bucket at the front if you bypass it and use this drain valve. I also really like that they have the cap connected, so that if you do change your mind and you don't want to use the hose, you can actually just do it right back up, nice and easy. You haven't lost your cap, and you can just roll it around to the front and use the conventional manual method for emptying this. This here is your cord keeper, nice for wrapping up your cord in those times when you might not be using your dehumidifier. Works pretty nice like that. Now let's get this plugged in so you can actually hear it in operation, and then we'll talk about the features of the machine and the programs you can run. There you see I've plugged the machine in, and it has turned on. Now you see the machine has tipped over a little bit. I tipped it over to show you that it does have a panic mode, and it's sending off this alarm to let you know that this shouldn't be operating like this. When you hear that noise, you're going to have to make sure that it rights itself, that is set fully upright. But as soon as I did that, all of the warning lights went off and it was ready to go. So on the top here, you have your control panel. Right now, I just turned it on, and I have it set to run on turbo. So turbo is when it is working its absolute hardest. It's when the machine is going to be loudest. Even now, you can really hear me talking on top of the machine. It's not that loud. At its loudest, it is under 50 decibels of noise, coming in at about 47 decibels. Now on this side right here, we have the comfort button. This is a program that the dehumidifier will run. So when you choose the humidity level that you are most comfortable at and set it there, this dehumidifier will run only until the humidity level gets to your desired comfort level, whether that be 45 or 50 or 55, whatever your choice is. Once it hits that desired comfort level, the dehumidifier will shut off, and it will monitor conditions and only turn on again if the humidity level rises above your comfort level. Now this button right here is your filter, and it's going to indicate to you a couple things. If the filter needs to be changed, and that generally happens after 250 hours of operation, you are going to get a flashing red light. Now when you notice the red light flashing, all you have to do is shut the machine off, remove the filter at the back like I showed you earlier, wash it off, dry it, reinstall it, turn the machine on, and then press the filter button to hit reset on the machine. Now up here, you also have an indication for the Wi-Fi compatibility, whether or not your machine is online or not. Right up here above the filter button is the auto defrost. So sometimes this is working really hard, and you get a buildup of frost on the back air intake on the coils. So when the machine senses that the coils have become frosted, it will automatically go into defrost so that it does not harm the efficiency and overall operation of your machine. Now this one here is your turbo indicator, and I have it on turbo right now because I have set the machine for 35% humidity. So it is going to work really hard, and turbo helps it to achieve that. When the bucket gets filled up, if you are using the manual operation for removing humidity where you have to come in and empty the bucket, this will turn on red to indicate that the bucket needs to be emptied. Now another note about turbo. When the room reaches your desired level of humidity, it is a good idea to shut off the turbo because you are asking the machine to work extra hard. So once you have reached that desired level of humidity, it is advisable to turn the turbo off and just let it run on regular. And you would do that by just simply pushing that button. You heard the drop in the noise volume. I'll turn the turbo on again. You can hear it amp up, and now it's running on turbo again. You should also know that if you've picked the comfort mode, you cannot adjust the humidity manually. Whereas if it's just running in continuous mode, you can adjust the humidity up or down from what you have selected. This is going to reduce the humidity in your room anywhere from 85% all the way down to 35%. 35% is your lowest humidity setting. And now here is your timer. So your timer has a range of 0 to 24 hours. And then after that point, it will shut off. Now here's something that's pretty awesome. Sometimes the power goes out when we have our humidifiers running. And on most models, any that I've had in the past anyways, I actually had to go back down and physically turn the humidifier back on. However, with this one, it does have an auto power on. So if it was running before the power went off, it has a memory and it will turn itself back on when the power comes on again to whatever the setting you had it at prior to the power outage. To connect your machine to Wi-Fi, all you have to do is hold down the filter button for 3 seconds and it will connect to the Wi-Fi so that you can monitor its performance, its efficiency, and its status using the app that is designated for this particular dehumidifier on your smartphone. Now, something else that's interesting to note, this one here has a function built in that is going to protect the compressor inside. So if this has been running continuously for a while and it is shut off, there's going to be a 3-minute delay before you're able to power the machine back up again so that it can protect the compressor and allow it to properly cool off before being asked to start up again. Now, on top of all those really cool features, this MIDEA 35 pint, 3,000 square foot dehumidifier is also Energy Star certified. So you are going to be running a very efficient machine when you plug this in your house. It has so many really great features, and like I said to you before, what I saw when I did my research about this machine is easy to operate, easy to program, easy to empty, easy to move. This really is an ideal personal home dehumidifier unit. From the smart controls to the simple drainage options to the ultra quiet operation and ease of use, this MIDEA dehumidifier has definitely delivered on all of the things that I had expected coming in when I did my research and selected this one. I'm going to go plug it in my basement and watch it pull out all that humidity, and I'll give you an update. But so far, I have to say I'm pretty confident that this is going to be a family favorite at my house.